First things first, we gotta get a little bit of business out of the way. You ready? Are y'all having fun at camp? I'm sorry, my beanie was covering my ears because I couldn't hear you like at all. Are y'all having fun at camp? I'm gonna go with yes. Yes, you are. Having a good time at camp. Well, good. Today we thought instead of happy nappy time, we would have a very special guest come and talk to you. So, hey. Thank you. Today, instead of rest period, we're going to have a very special speaker come and talk to you. So thank you in advance for giving her your most rapt, incredible attention. She is the inventor of Fruit Loops. Who likes Fruit Loops? She invented them. Yeah. Actually, an Olympic champion trombone player. I know. And is responsible for the construction of I-10 West. Not the east lanes, that was somebody else, but the westbound lanes. Miss Morgan Patton.
Hi, everyone. Thank you guys so much for letting me come speak to you while I'm sure you guys would much rather be resting. No? Okay. So, by the way, this camp looks awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Good. So, has anyone heard of Team Type 1?
Yes.
Yeah? What is it? It is. She was close. So, she said it's a triathlon group. But actually, we have over 100 athletes with diabetes. And I am the first woman to ever join the team, and I've been racing professionally at bicycles, so you guys know Lance Armstrong? So doing that kind of stuff, except not the Tour de France. And I have type 1. So I've had type 1 diabetes since I was 7 years old, and I'm 23 now, and I have learned to control my diabetes so well that I can go do 100-mile bike races, and actually 2 weekends ago I won. Well, last weekend I crashed, so that wasn't good. Got some nice scabs. But I'm here to just tell you about my story of being diagnosed with diabetes and what it's been like for me and how I've learned to control it and the importance of exercising to control my diabetes. Does anybody ride bicycles? Yeah? All right, so a lot of bike fans. So when I was diagnosed, when I was 7 years old, I did pretty much what I was supposed to do. You know, your parents tell you to check 4 times a day and do your insulin, you do it. And then I got to be a teenager. And I was the non-compliant teenager. Who here doesn't do what they're supposed to do with their diabetes? A lot of people, right? We probably could check more. Your A1C could probably be a little lower. Everyone could improve. Even I can improve now. So when I was a teenager, I thought insulin wasn't that important. And turns out it really is. And I thought that I didn't really need to check and that I didn't need to do all my insulin shots. And who thinks they have the highest A1C here? Yeah, 10? Wow. 10? Oh, man, you guys gotta get those down. So, listen up. So, when I was 16, my A1C matched my age. It was 16.3%. Yeah, it was really bad. And I was really sick. And the thing is that, I'm going to tell you guys, the thing is that when you slowly quit taking care of yourself, you don't realize how bad you actually feel. So for me, I thought it was more annoying. And I like to rebel against my parents when I was a few years younger. I still do a little bit. But if you skip a blood sugar and you don't do as much insulin as you're supposed to, you don't really notice how bad you feel because it just takes a long time. So next thing you know, for me, I had my A1C really high and was asleep all the time. If I got sick, it took me forever to get better. And it's until I got put on an insulin pump and my A1C came down that I actually realized how bad I felt. So that's the thing with type 1 diabetes, if you don't take care of it, you don't really know how bad you feel until you start managing it well. So to get my A1C that high was a lot more work than actually probably taking care of myself. So I used to lie to my parents a lot, tell them what my blood sugar was when I actually hadn't checked. I used to not show up at doctor's appointments, and I just pretty much did everything I could to possibly avoid having to deal with my diabetes. And then I met Team Type 1. So there's this race. It's called the Race Across America, and it starts in California and finishes, we'll do questions in a minute, okay? So it starts in California and it finishes in Maryland that year. And the founder of the team, has anybody ever heard of Phil Sutherland? Yeah, he has a lot of fans. So he's the founder of the team, and he has type 1 himself. He was diagnosed when he was 7 months old. So I was 17 years old, and our moms actually live about half a mile away from each other, and they met at a Christmas party. And Phil at the time was racing collegiately for University of Georgia, and I was just graduating high school, and my A1C was bad, and I thought I knew everything. So they decided to get us together, and that he would probably be a good influence on me, which it turns out he was. So he invited me to go help them do the Race Across America. And it's a 3,000-mile race that Team Type 1 has the world record. So 8 people with type 1 diabetes did that race in 5 days, 14 hours, and 3 minutes. Can you imagine how fast that is? Isn't that awesome? And they all have type 1. So they averaged, I think, almost 23.7 miles an hour or something across the entire United States. That's going over mountains in Colorado and West Virginia and the flats in Kansas. So I go out there, I get to help them. They're all checking up to 30 times a day. They know exactly what their blood sugar is at any moment of the day. They all are really on top of their management. And that was an eye-opening experience because that showed me if I wanted to be fast on a bicycle like them, that I really have to know my body well. And pretty much any sport, anytime you want to use your body and you want your body to be a machine and run 5 miles or go bike for 40 miles or something like that, you need to be in really good control of your blood sugar. So that's really what taught me that actually insulin's important, and having your blood sugar in a specific range while you're exercising is really important too. So I go back, this was in 2006. I go back home and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a bike racer. I'm going to be like Team Type 1 and all the athletes. Well, I was really bad. I was really bad at first because you'd start rides at 300 because I would be scared of going too low, and then I would feel terrible. And so it was just figuring out the right balance of where my blood sugar should be and how much insulin I should take before I go exercise, and it was just a lot of checking. So start riding, slowly realize that if I want to be fast, I need to have my blood sugar in really good control. And I start racing. With racing, I do what's called criteriums. So I don't do races across the country. There's other people on the team that like to do that stuff, I know. So I do races called criteriums, and they're normally an hour long and very fast sprints, and we're averaging probably 25 to 30 miles an hour. And so with that, that's really tricky to learn how to manage your diabetes because adrenaline likes to cause your blood sugar to go up. Does anybody notice if you get really nervous, your blood sugar likes to go high?
Mine goes low.
Oh, yours goes low? Oh. Well, you guys are all, well, I'm different. So my blood sugar, when I get nervous, likes to go high. And definitely learning how to race. There's a big difference also with racing and training, is that, because I don't get nervous when I go train, but I get nervous when I go race. So that's also been another thing that I've had to learn. I actually, when I'm on the start line, will give myself insulin, versus when I go train, I'll cut back my insulin. So it's just a lot of tricks and learning how your blood sugar reacts and what your body's going to do that has made you be able to be a successful bike racer and win races on the national level. So the whole point of Team Type 1, we actually have a junior program. So if anybody wants to start running or doing cycling races or triathlon, you should let me know. The whole point of Team Type 1 is to show that if you control your diabetes really well, you can be as good, if not better, than all the other athletes out there that don't have diabetes. So does anyone, who thinks they want to join our junior program or the women's team one day? Yeah? We have, okay, good. I'm serious. If you guys really want to join, come get my card afterwards. Send me an email because we need to build our program. We need a whole army of diabetic athletes out there showing what's possible. Does anybody have a question? You did, right? Okay, what did you want?
I heard from someone that I know that there's a walk they do to cure diabetes.
There is. She's asking if there's a walk to cure diabetes, and there is. And there's actually also, the JDRF will do a ride to cure diabetes, and the ADA will do rides too, and that's actually a really great way to get into endurance sports in general, is just sign up for a charity ride or a charity walk, and then, you know, get used to riding, and you'll have people around. And luckily, the thing with the ADA and the JDRF Ride to Cures is there's stops like every 10 miles. So you can, or not, they're even closer than that. So if you go low or you're too high, there's people around and you can rest and eat more food and drink water and recover. Do you have a question? Okay, what do you do? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Let's tell. Okay, ask questions, not stories, okay? So he's asking about the race across America, and he was asking if they sleep at night, and they do not. Isn't that crazy? So it's basically a relay race where they have 8 athletes, and they go one at a time, basically 24 hours a day across the country. And it got kind of complicated. They would break it down into 3 4-person teams, and depending on which team it was how long they would go. So there's people who are climbers, who are the really tall, skinny people with low body fat, and they go up hills really fast. And then there's people like me who have a lot of fast twitch, so I'm good at sprinting and going fast for short distances. And so they had kind of the sprinter guys who would do the flats, and then the climber guys would go up the mountains. And so depending on the terrain, they would look at the different terrain that was coming up to determine which team was going to go out. And then while that team, so there'd be the 3 guys that are, they had 3 teams basically. I can't remember what the numbers were breaking down to, but so whatever team, it was kind of complicated. But 24 hours a day, they were doing it for 5.5 days. So it was pretty insane. So, did you have a question? Yeah? Do you have a question? How much money does it take to find a cure for diabetes? That's a good question that I don't have the answer to. Probably millions and billions of dollars. Lots of money. But they're getting close, so that's good. And the red hat. I am not the creator of Fruit Loops. He said this, he was telling you guys lies to get your attention. It's his fault. You can get mad at him. I'm sorry. I haven't invented anything cool. I'm so sorry.
What else in there?
Okay, thank you. Do you have another one?
Did you really create that highway?
I did not create the highway either. I'm sorry. In the gray shirt. Yeah.
Where do you get your diabetes supplies from?
Where do I get my diabetes supplies from? A pharmacy? What do you mean? Well, I know if you guys ever have any extra supplies, we actually do a lot. We'll deliver supplies to Rwanda and Africa every year. So if you guys ever have extra, you can send them to us at Team Type 1. But all my supplies, I get just enough for myself. So, but I've donated all my old glucose meters. Let's see, the blue shirt.
Do you really play the trombone?
I don't play the trombone either. I don't play any musical instruments. I don't do anything exciting except ride a bicycle. I used to play saxophone, but yeah. Yes. You